Beginning in Larne and striking northwards, the coast road opens the way to the Nine Glens. The unique signifier of this route is the set of milestones in cast iron, distinctive in shape and lettering, which mark the distances in miles and furlongs between the villages. Although they are placed only on the landward side, the latter inscriptions, north and south, inform the traveller in either direction, while the topmost triangle records the distance of each from Belfast. Because they were intended to be read by a slower-paced 19th century voyager, they are ill adapted to the faster locomotion of today. No longer useful, they have fallen into neglect and disrepair. Since statutory bodies disclaim all responsibility for their upkeep, perhaps it is opportune for a heritage initiative to restore the remaining milestones as a reminder of an era, slower and more measured, but also more local and circumscribed. A history lesson for the passer-by.
We had just pulled into a quiet lay-by for a picnic tea near Port Stewart when suddenly, whoops! Well, that's how we met our Irish friends, the Donnellys. While Mrs. Donnelly, Marjorie, took my wife into the caravan for a clean-up, Jack introduced me to the rest of the family. Kathleen, Michael, Maureen, Louise. Later, we all piled into the caravan, and with the help of a road map, swapped yarns about where we had been. My wife and I were on our first visit to Northern Ireland, and it had all been so easy.
Yes, indeed. Half an hour's flight from Glasgow, and with a hired car waiting for us at the airport, we were soon on our way, with a map and the open road ahead.
Even London is only an hour's flight from these uncrowded roads.
It was a joy to rediscover the pleasure of motoring, with often as not the nearest car bumper half a mile away. This Antrim coast road must be one of the finest in Europe, as it winds its way from the car ferry port of Larne past massive headlands of chalk and basalt, in and out of one delightful little resort after another.
Running down to the coast are the 9 green glens of Antrim, reaching towards the sea like the imprints of giant fingers dug deep into the earth.
We found a book of poems in the hotel where we stopped for lunch, with a wonderful description of the glens. Steep, grassy hills that fold and fold around the peat-brown waters of the hurrying stream. Banks where the crimson rowan berries glow and ancient glistening hollies darkly gleam. We were really hungry by the time we sat down to delicious salmon steaks in Cushendun with the sea just outside the window. As well as the good food and comfortable rooms, we did appreciate the personal attention we received in the hotels where we stayed.
We had heard about the road around Tor Head. It used to be for adventurous motorists only because of its steep corkscrew bends, but we found no real difficulty.
Aye, and just 13 miles across the sea and clear in the afternoon sun was our home country of Scotland.
That photograph of White Park Bay is one of the best we took on the journey. I never saw such a glorious stretch of sand. We had heard also about the Giant's Causeway and found our way down the Shepherd's Path.
We watched the seabirds soar and dip and glide along the edge of the cliff. And suddenly we saw the giant's organ, supposed to be heard once every 7 years. The atmosphere was so strange that it was easy to believe the local legends about the Irish giant, Finn McCool.
He's supposed to have built the causeway to get across to Scotland, while our man, Fingal, is supposed to have broken it down. It does appear on the other side at Fingal's cave.
That's Dunluce Castle, where a wall collapsed and 9 servants plunged into the sea below.
In the evening, we went back to Ballycastle for a quiet game of golf. The sun was setting at the end of our first day as we reached Port Rush.
Dear Mary, the vivid yellow gorse which clothes this countryside during the summer months was particularly wonderful near the coast between Larne and Carrickfergus, the old fortress town where King William landed in Ireland. One of our favourite runs was up the Scenic coast road, which hugs the edge of the sea for 100 miles up the northeast coast. This is one of the most beautiful drives in Europe, but whether you go north by car or train, there are many places along its length which you must visit if you come here for a holiday next year. Waterfoot, Carnlough, and Cushendun, a favourite resort of artists, which is now preserved unspoiled by the National Trust. From Cushendun we went up the hills behind to search for the vanishing lake, Loch Harima. One day it is there and the next it is gone. In country like this it is easy to imagine the little people are responsible, but few believe in fairies nowadays. Just off Fairhead, which is the northeast corner of Ulster, lies Rathlin Island, which will always be famous as a place where Robert Bruce found in a spider's perseverance the encouragement he needed to reconquer Scotland. We both love a rough sea, and our favourite place on blustery days was Ballintoy, where a screen of jagged rocks protects a tiny harbour from the main force of the waves. Nearby is the Giant's Causeway, where we spent nearly a whole day and heard again of Finn McCool, the giant who was the legendary architect of this unique place. In the giant's organ pipes, one can see how the rocks are stacked one on the other in angular columns.
screencasting for Ulster Screen Productions and Publicity Services Limited. The management of this cinema asked me to tell you, their patron.
Oh, it's marvelous here.
It is. Now.
Meaning?
You know what I mean. When are you going to marry me?
I must have notice of that question. Where's Veronica?
With Mr. Huggins at the bathing boxes, of course. Lucky for me she prefers being there, or I'd never get a word in edgeways.
She likes Mrs. Huggins and Sam as much as they loathe one another.
I know. It's diamond cut diamond with that pair.
I'll wait you for the boat.
You're walking the mountains with your dog by your side in the midst of the morning or at sweet eventide. It is then you remember in the lilt of a song the old dogs and companions as you travel along.